You're not a real excitable guy, and I don't think I've seen you as excited as when you won that gold last weekend.
Yeah, it was a pretty special moment. I think just looking at, getting a chance to represent your country for one, and you get over those tournaments. Like I think that was the fifth time I got a chance to do it, and there's no one else cheering for you except for the guys on the bench and maybe a couple fans that came over. And so yeah, it was a special moment, great group of guys, and thankful to be a part of it.
What does that do for you as a coach, just that whole experience?
You know what? Every time I've done it, it's a big commitment, right? We were there. We left on the 1st and came back the 26th. So doing that 5 times, you're missing obviously family time, and but I always felt like when I left there, I was a better coach, right? You get exposed to, we had a great coaching staff, so learned a lot from them. You get exposed to how different countries play, and I just think again a chance to represent your country and then continue to grow as a coach.
So what was that moment like when you got so excited to finally achieve your goal?
Yeah, it was really special. I think that even I think respecting what our guys did. They played. All of our guys pretty much were NHL players, right? They played 82 games, and to make that decision to come and play and grind through that tournament. It's a long tournament, and they really bought into being a team. I think that's what really the excitement came from. You saw the guys, we improved throughout the tournament, right? Early on, the Swiss took it to us. I think it was the 3rd or 4th game of the tournament. We beat us 3-0. It wasn't really even close, and we kept getting better and better. And to see the guys get rewarded was really special.
I didn't realize until you did it that it's been 92 years and the U.S. has never done that. That's quite an achievement, isn't it?
Crazy. And then actually, so the last time we won it was 1933, and then the last time we were in the gold medal game was 1934.
Wow.
So we hadn't even touched it. And there's a lot of different factors. I think you get a chance to go over that tournament, you really see. I mean, the rinks are packed. For the Europeans, that means more than the Stanley Cup. And, for the guys coming over after a long NHL season, you got your hands full trying to play, and again, playing in tough buildings to play in, and the crowd are really into it. But yeah, that's a long time for sure.
Isaac was the only guy you had on the team, right?
From Michigan State, yeah. But there's probably, I would say, maybe 17 or 18 guys that have either coached at the national team, in the NHL, prior national team, opportunities. So there was a lot of familiar faces.
What did this experience do for a guy like Ike?
It was great. I think Ike came in. He played well when his number was called, but I also think learning how to, he wasn't in the lineup at the end, and he was a great teammate. He was super supportive, and he had never been in that spot, right? And so it's hard. You're coming out of college, and every guy you're going up against played a couple hundred NHL games at minimum. So he did a great job, representing our university and doing things with class, and it's going to help him as a player big time.
Again, how excited are you to have him back?
Yeah, super. I mean, I think the world of him. Very rare you get to coach a kid this long, right? I had him 2 years with the national team, 2 years here, and this will be going on 5 years. And you never know, still stuff could happen, right? Obviously teams are aware of him and would love to have him on their team. But I for him to win the Hobie and represent our university the way he has, I mean, he's been great.
Is that the difficulty in college hockey? I mean, in your sport, you could lose a guy from now before the season starts, can't you?
Yeah, it's a little bit too, and I think when we took over, right, that was the mindset is we're going to go after the top players, and you got to understand that you're going to lose some of them, right? And if they're ready to move on, then you drive them to the airport, you're happy for them, and you try to go get the next guy. But when you recruit high end, that helps you get the next kid. So Ike, whether he's back or not, he's going to help us get the next top player.
I don't know if you can talk specifically about the guys coming in, and I know that I can't even name them, but are you excited about the guys coming in and rebuilding this roster?
Yeah, no, we're excited. We feel like we got a good group. That's always the challenge, right? They'll get here July 1st, and the biggest thing they got to do is train and be in shape, but start becoming a team, right? And there's plenty of teams in a variety of different sports that have, quote unquote, a ton of talent that don't come together, and that's our job as coaches to make sure we come together as a team. And I think we got a great group of leaders that are going to help with that, and then just recruiting the right type of people, right? Or kids that aren't into promises and guarantees that are here to represent Michigan State, and so we're comfortable with that. But obviously there's still a lot of work to be done.
I know how much you love hockey, but your season just ended, and then you went to Europe for this. Will you take a little time to get away from it now?
Yeah, for sure. I think that our kids are still in school, so it's hard to go many places. But wrap up some things around. We're still recruiting, and then for sure to get a chance to get up north, see my parents, and get away a little bit. I'll go to Minnesota and take my boys fishing there, and But it'll be here quick, so you got to take advantage of the time when you can.
I saw some pictures. You took some of the players fishing in Detroit, didn't you?
It was awesome, yeah. B Sports took us down to the Detroit River. I think we had 10 guys go, and my boys came and jigging for walleye, so it was great. I think we cleaned 42 of them. The boys learned how to clean fish and do a fish fry. They were super pumped and appreciative. It was a great day.
What kind of a bonding experience was that for you and your players?
Awesome, yeah, to see those guys out there. And, I think just, we get a lot of guys from all over the world, really, on our team. And Michigan's such a beautiful state. For them to be able to drive just a little ways and get down and see, catch fish like that and see the Detroit River. It's a beautiful river. And then to spend some time away from the rink, I think that's really important.
Back to the hockey team. Are you a Canadian by birth, or you're All-American?
All-American, yeah. Born in Jackson.
I thought you had a Canada background.
No, born in Jackson.
Really?
My dad was a state trooper. Then
Okay.
I think I was maybe 5 or 6.
Okay.
Got promoted up to Sheboygan, then grew up in Sheboygan.
Yeah. What was that upbringing like for you? I mean, I always say there's nothing like a childhood.
Super fortunate parents that were, both my parents were college athletes. Neither one of them played hockey. My mom was a school teacher. My dad was a state trooper, so I always say for my brothers and I, there was nowhere to hide, right? Either if you got in trouble at school or you got in trouble out of school, they were going to find you. So we super supportive, great community to grow up in, right? I think growing up in a small town, I'm super thankful for that. I think it's always about the people, and it was never about job title or how much you made. And I think you do too. Growing up in a small town, you got to treat people with respect, right? If you're in a bigger city, you can maybe get away with some things, but there's nowhere to hide in a small town.
Is that kind of how you and Izzo bond? You're kind of from the same background, aren't you?
Yeah. No, he's obviously him growing up in the UP it is similar for sure. And I think that I look at what Tom's done for our athletic department, right? Is it'd be easy for him to separate himself and act like some kind of big deal and walk around campus, and he certainly doesn't do that. And I think that trickles down to the rest of our campus. But I think that is the reality of growing up in a small town. Not that you can't have that if you grow up in a big town, but you can act that way if you grow up in a small town.
How important in your mind is this athletic director hire now for Michigan State University, whoever it is?
Yeah, I think it's an important hire, and I think that Kevin and the board and everyone involved are really smart people, and I think they know what they're looking at, right? And that's above my pay grade. But I think whoever it is, really understand what Michigan State's about, and it's about the people and relationships, And I think that I think everyone has a pulse on that. But that it is a huge hire for us, and obviously that's the leader and the guiding light for the program and for the whole university. And I'm confident we'll get a good one.